5,200 years ago, a boy was born into a community of hunter-gatherers along the coastal regions of Scandinavia. The boy learned the ways of living of this group, such as how to hunt for seals, whales, and fish. Throughout his childhood, the boy also ate cod, sea bream, dolphin meat, and mutton. By the time the boy became around 12 or 19 years old, he made a journey across the seas to a region known today as Denmark. Once there, the young man changed his diet and began eating food produced from crops and meat from domesticated sheep and goats. He also consumed freshwater fish, terrestrial wild animals, and cereals and dairy products. Over time, the young man became fully integrated into this society with their strange new food. One day in his late adulthood, between the ages of 30 and 40, the man from the north was hit over the head 8 times with a wooden club. He was then thrown into a swamp, alongside some pottery, animal bones, and the wooden club that was used to bludgeon him. The horrific wounds proved fatal, and the man died as he was consumed by the muck of the bog. Why and how did this man end up in prehistoric Denmark, despite having grown up in Scandinavia? Why was he murdered? Join me as we explore these questions and the fascinating life and times of this man, who we know today as the Vittrup Man. Thousands of years later in 1915, the man's remains were found in a peat bog near what is now the village of Vittrup, Denmark, by people cutting peat. All that remained of the once living human being was a right ankle bone, lower left shin bone, jawbone, and a fragmented skull. A wooden club was also found near their remains. The remains became known as the Vittrup Man, were placed in a museum, and were eventually dated to between 5,300 to 5,100 years ago. In 2014, Vittrup Man's DNA was included in a genomic project researching the Mesolithic and Neolithic gene pools of Europe and Asia. The genome of Vittrup Man and 317 other prehistoric human skeletons were sequenced. Vittrup Man's DNA revealed that he was genetically very different from the rest of the prehistoric population of Denmark that existed at that time. Possessing blue eyes and darker skin, he even looked different from the prehistoric Danish population that he encountered, which had its origins in Anatolia and the Middle East. Instead, it was found that he is actually genetically most similar to the prehistoric inhabitants of Norway and Sweden. Once it was established that Vittrup Man had a different genetic profile than that of his local contemporaries, research was carried out to find out what kind of life he had led. The details of his life were revealed by analyzing his tooth enamel, tartar, and bone collagen. The detection of strontium, nitrogen, carbon, and oxygen in his enamel, and certain levels of protein in his teeth and bones revealed what he was eating and where he was eating. The study also showed that Vittrup Man's lifestyle and diet shifted at a certain point in his life, from that of a hunter-gatherer to a farmer. This lifestyle and dietary shift took place after his area of residence changed. It is not known for certain why Vittrup Man made the journey from Scandinavia to Denmark, but scientists have hypothesized that he may have been enslaved by the prehistoric Danes in a raid. Another possibility that has been considered is that he may have been a traveling trader who decided to settle down and do business in Denmark. Bolstering this theory are the numerous examples of flint axes that were transported out of Denmark to the regions far to the north of the Scandinavian peninsula. These items have been found as far north as the Arctic Circle. Prehistoric Danes made high-quality flint axes, and these could have been traded for raw materials from Scandinavia. Scientists have further theorized that the Vittrup Man could have been a foreign merchant that acted as a middleman between farming and hunter-gatherer communities in the region. They also speculate that once Vittrup Man grew up, his people near the Arctic Circle may have assigned him the role of a traveling merchant. The interaction between prehistoric Denmark and Scandinavia seemed to have revolved around the movement of valuable artifacts to the north and the possible movement of humans to the south. In this scenario, the pitted wearer culture may have acted as the middlemen along the trade routes connecting the hunter-gatherers in the north and the settled farmers of Denmark to the south. Sitting along these trade routes, the pitted wearer culture could have received already enslaved humans such as the Vittrup Man from the north, whom were then transported to Denmark to perform slave labor, while at the same time they could have received artifacts and flint axes from Denmark, which were then transported to hunter-gatherers up north. It is also thought that though Vittrup Man could have spent a large portion of his adult life living among farmers in prehistoric Denmark, he very well could have made regular journeys back to his homeland. The shortest route between the Scandinavian peninsula and Denmark is 75 kilometers of open sea. At various points during such a journey, land would not be within view of the naked eye. By comparison, a journey from Norway to Denmark would require crossing 100 kilometers of open sea. Such vast trips over open seas would have required seaworthy boats and advanced knowledge of navigation. It is still plausible that Vittrup Man could have made voyages across the seas as he grew up hunting large animals offshore of the Scandinavian peninsula with his people. Such hunting activities would have required the use of specialized maritime equipment and techniques. It has also been suggested that Vittrup Man may have been part of a large migratory group of prehistoric Scandinavians that made their way into Denmark. The biggest mystery, though, and the one that interests people the most, is why Vittrup Man was killed. An accidental death has been ruled out, due to the presence of multiple fractures on his skull that could only have been produced by a hard, sturdy object. Scientists think that Vittrup Man was sacrificed, which according to them was a common practice in prehistoric Denmark. The focus of these practices may have been boggy wetlands, as Vittrup Man and numerous other human remains have been found in them. Bovine bones in a ceramic pot were also found near Vittrup Man's remains by the peat diggers in 1915, and may be further evidence of the ritualistic nature of his murder. Likewise, thousands of precious items and animals have been found buried in other bogs throughout Denmark. However, compared to others who were sacrificed in the era, Vittrup Man was killed in an unusually violent way, as most other sacrificial victims were killed with arrow shots or were strangled. Some researchers think that ritual sacrifice was often performed upon members of a community that were foreigners. Taking this into account, some scientists have theorized that Vittrup Man could have been captured in a raid and enslaved, before eventually being sacrificed to the gods when he was no longer able to perform strenuous physical labor. Sacrificing an individual, such as Vittrup Man, may have been an attempt by a society to communicate with an unknown spirit or deity, with the hope that the deity receiving the sacrifice would be pleased and bring about good luck. Additionally, sacrificial victims often had bone malformations, which could indicate that the society sacrificed them because they were perceived as having no other use to society. However, in contrast, Vittrup Man did not bear any deformities. Researchers also contend that he also could have been killed in a war or was robbed and murdered. Regardless of whether Vittrup Man was a slave or not, he still could have been of high social standing, as historic sources in ethnography recount slaves in relatively high social roles, and there are also cases where high-status, highly valued persons were chosen for sacrifice. Deepening the mystery is that foraging lifestyles had already died out in prehistoric Denmark around 500 years before the time of Vittrup Man's arrival in the region. The foragers who once roamed Denmark, and whom are known today as the Western European hunter-gatherers, had markedly different genetics and appearances than the farmers that would eventually replace them. These supplanting populations instead traced their ancestry back to Anatolia and the Middle East, and had lighter skin. There is no question that Vittrup Man's life took place during the crossroads in prehistory, when the peoples of Europe were slowly shifting away from hunting and gathering to a settled farming lifestyle. It remains to be seen whether future research can shed more light on what place Vittrup Man had within this shifting framework. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed my documentary, don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/World Chronicles.